Hey, howdy, howdy. How is everybody doing today? Miss Rideshare Lisa, I see, is here. Tommy Sism, how are you doing, sir? Yeah, I'm early for once, and I'm late. Well, I'm only 2 minutes late, so that's not bad. I hope, can y'all hear me okay? I was watching some videos, and one of which is Roy. So if Roy watches this replay, I know he's not here right now, but if you watch this video, and there's some others, I I try to listen to everybody in the car that I can, and some people I just can't hear. But you probably got the settings where they're supposed to be. But I'm just wondering if y'all can hear me, okay, or do y'all have to turn up your volume to be able to hear me? It's easy for me to see the picture, but I don't hear what y'all hear. So I was just kind of curious about that. How you doing, Rodney? Tommy says, howdy, I'm working as well, but I'm here. I worked up till about 7 o'clock. I had a 6:45 order. No, a 5:45 order, and I finished it probably about 6:10. But I just turned it off. I wasn't going to work no more. I needed to head home and get ready for this and kind of gather my thoughts a little bit, or at least act like I gathered my thoughts. I don't never know what I'm thinking about half the time. Anyway, so the sound's okay. And I didn't really notice it, but my mom and then somebody else commented last Wednesday night that I kept freezing up. My mom had texted me, but I didn't pay any attention to my phone. But I don't know what the deal was. I don't know if it was I had too many windows open and it was causing it to freeze up. Or anyway, if I have that freezing problem where it's just like freezing, let me know. And if nothing else, I'll switch to the camera on the laptop. Uh oh, the compressor in your car air conditioner is going out. I know that feeling, but I took my car in. We're going to give it a little mechanic work here, or mechanic talk. I took my car in to get the front wheel bearing replaced. I had the other one replaced a while back. Now I got the driver's side replaced. But the mechanic went ahead and my sister works for him, so she was telling me what he did. Something about he blew out some filter, and I don't think it was the cabin air filter. I'm not real sure. But apparently, the drain for the air conditioner was stopped up too. Because my air conditioner, when you would stop at a red light or sitting in the parking lot waiting on an order or getting loaded up, it would blow kind of humid air, and it was almost hot. It was almost, and we're running 110 degrees down here. And sometimes it was cooler in the shade just to turn the car off. I don't know if that's the situation, but you might get that checked because I got quoted $1,250 to replace the air conditioner compressor on my car. How you doing, Mr. Bud Soda? I'm assuming you're out and about. Hey, speaking of people out and about working, y'all keep those people down there in Florida in your mind and thoughts and prayers if you're a praying type. I know Sarah Elizabeth is down there. I looked at the map and it looks like it landed quite a bit south of her, but I'm quite sure she got a lot of wind and probably a lot of rain out of that. So anyway, y'all just keep those people down in Florida in your thoughts. So how you doing, pork chop? How you doing, Mr. Heyman? Heyman? Oh man, I am doing great. The car, I got that bearing replaced, and the car is going smoothly down the road. It doesn't sound like a jet airplane until you hit the brakes. Still not real sure what's causing that. When you're going about 75 or 80, and then you start to exit, granted the speed limit is 75, so I'm not speeding. But anyway, you can hit the brakes, and it sounds like a jet plane if you've ever ridden in an airplane and how they reverse the engines when you land, that's what it sounds like. But it could be the rear brakes because the front brakes supposedly got replaced, although that's been about a year ago now. No more spark for me. I appealed. People or dirtbags claiming not. Uh-oh. I got a message on mine. Was it yesterday or the day before? Saying that I had delivered to the wrong address. So it happens. There's people out there scamming. You know, I'm sure some people make some mistakes. You might deliver it next door. As a matter of fact, I've done it. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I've messed up and put it at the apartment A when it was supposed to be apartment B in the housing authority here in Wichita Falls, and that was my fault. Luckily, the customer, because I text them when I'm leaving to bring it to them, and then I text them telling them thank you. So they had an open line of communication with me, which is another good reason why you should do that. And they just informed me that I delivered it, but to the house next door, same porch. So I mean, it was like 6 steps for them, in that situation. But yeah, it happens. I don't care how long you've been doing it, and if you say you never do it or never have done it, I don't know. I kind of question that. I mean, we're all human. We make mistakes, especially when you got a whole lot going on at once. But yeah, I get on that Reddit, and I've been getting on that and reading that quite a bit lately. And there's a bunch of people. This being the guy. Granted, I'm just on this Spark Reddit, whatever you call it, the group or whatever. So, but there's a lot of people that get deactivated. Now, hearing some of them, I oh, definitely. I was like, I saw Emily's name there, and I'm like, did she type? Good deal. She's out working. I hope I'm not freezing up. I asked her to kind of watch and let me know if I was freezing up. And I got my phone muted, so hopefully nobody. Nope, no text. So I guess all is working well. But anyway, a lot of people on Reddit get deactivated. That's one of the reasons why you should always have other apps. I'm not saying work the other apps, but have other apps. Have backup. Oh, they can't even say the reason that they claim HIPAA or confidentiality, and then they admitted like what we can see the reason is like you can't even give the reason. I read that on the Reddit. The people called, and because of confidentiality and all this, which I think is total crap. If they're gonna deactivate you, you should have a right to know why. You don't need to go. I mean, I understand them not wanting to give the address because some people might retaliate, but they need to at least tell them why. They don't have to tell them who or when, but just why. Because you all know as well as I do, there's some people that would take it personal, and they might be a little vindictive. So I get that, but they need to tell you why. How you doing, giggity? Yeah, well, I get, it's a vicious cycle. It's like DoorDash. People get fed up with it and they move on to bigger and better things, and then you got new people coming in, and pretty much all these apps are banger at first, and then they kind of slough off. I don't know. I think they give new drivers. I don't know. I may be wrong, but it seems like they give new drivers priority and better orders. Kind of like going to the casino or something. They let you win and let you win and let you win and reel you in, and then they kind of taper off. and then not so good at orders, and then trying to see if you'll continue to take them, and then if you don't, then they got new people coming in, and I don't know. I don't know. That just seems the way it works. Apparently, you can be a bad driver and not use bags on a hot day, and etc., and be fine. Yeah, for the some of the things that they get you for make no sense, and some of the things that they should get you for, they don't care. So it makes no sense. It's just like most jobs. If you do a good job on everything and you might make one little mistake, that one little mistake wipes away all the good stuff. I'm not saying you made a mistake, because it probably was a scammer, because there is a lot of them. But one of the biggest things I don't like about Spark is how they can take the tip away. I don't advocate DoorDash at all. I don't really like DoorDash at all. But at least, a non tipper is honest. They may be cheap, but they're honest. They didn't give you a tip, and they don't plan on giving you a tip. Whereas with Spark, a lot of people will give you a $10 tip and take it away completely. I've had $15 tips just zeroed out for no reason. So it happens. But anyway, on tonight's topic, I was just kind of curious as why do y'all watch? Let's say, why do you watch what you watch on YouTube? And because most of us that I know of, the new people, I understand. But if you've been watching, UDM, Pedro, your driver Mike, Pete over at Paid to Drive, you've been watching all these folks, and you get their ideals on what works in their market, and you kind of put together your own ideal. So you're really not needing to watch them for the learning the little hints and tricks and whatnot. So I was just curious as why people continue to watch. And what kind of brought this up was, I really thought, and I'm not going to stop doing it, because somebody 6 months from now may get something out of the videos. But I got my new GoPro. Where is it? It's right here. And I made a video on it, and it was a flop. I mean, it's probably one of the worst videos as far as people watching it. And I would think that some people might be interested in it. And I realize this is a gig economy type group of folks. But do you realize what kind of benefits having a camera can be? At least if you make a mistake, when you go back and watch your video, you saw, oh yeah, I messed up. That's my bad. And if you're into making videos, that is excellent vlogging. Unless you want to go buy a additional cell phone, even if you buy a cheap one, they got good cameras on it. But you can go in the water with those things. If you want to go snorkeling, you can take that with you. So GoPro is excellent, and the stabilization on them are great. But anyway, that video was a flop, so I'm just kind of curious as why people watch what they watch. And really who they watch. Because you probably ain't going to learn nothing from me. And in all honesty, most of you have more experience than I do, and a lot of other people. So you're not going to learn anything really. I mean, it's kind of interesting to see different scenarios that people get into. But anyway, see, Stacy's here. How you doing, Miss Stacy? Yep, tip bait on Spark sucks. Oh, definitely. I was a little naive. Stacy in the past had told me that Spark did do tip baiting, but I never paid any attention to it because I didn't know. But when they did that update, I know now, and I've got one name already saved, and it's a pain to keep track and see which house or which customer did the tip baiting. And I had a plan to get a list, but that's going to be a pain in the rear. And I really don't know that it's worth it, because in all honesty, probably 85 to 90% of the people leave the tips there. And that other 10%, are they really worth trying to keep track with them? Like I said, I've got one, and that was one out of 20 that I was trying to narrow it down, but it's just too much of a hassle unless somebody's got a good strategy on how to do that. Have you seen the crap Hollywood is putting out? I might as well watch you YouTubers. Exactly. Where else can you see a gray haired, one eyed, winged, Under Armour hat wearing crazy old guy like me? You ain't gonna find that in Hollywood. But anyway, we're just real people. So, and that's kind of why I watch them. It's not. I mean, it's kind of interesting to see, but me personally, I watch people for the person, their personality, and to get different perspectives. I mean, you can like Roy has a different perspective than a lot of other people, but Roy is spot on most everything. There's a couple of things I disagree with, but that if we was neighbors, that would not stop me from being friends with him because I think he's a pretty cool dude, and I respect his honesty. Whether I agree with everything or not, he's honest, and so is most everybody else I watch. I think some people are just out there just to rack up some views, but there's a lot of people. The majority of everybody I watch are honest and sincere, and they're just good people. You know, so that's why I watch some of them. Bad thing is, for people you do remember the street, and someone else might be declined because of it. Yeah. I get what you're saying. If you've got a stacked order, yeah, that's true. And it's really bad because if you get say a $14 order again, I don't know how to figure it, but it's 7 and 7, so neither one of them tipped. But you might get a $18 order, and probably one of them tipped. And that's the bad thing is it's kind of like with DoorDash. They put a good tipper with a non-tipper just so you can get people will take both orders and get them delivered, while some cheapskate is not having a tip, and they're still getting the same service and the same quality. And like I've said in the past, there are very very few reasons to take tips away, but there are special circumstances where I would probably take a tip away. If I had communication with them, I might even just say, hey, I do this too, and you might consider doing this. I wouldn't be mean about it, but some people don't know. If they're new, you know, there's a lot of things. What does Stacy say? You can drop stack order, call Spark, and tell them they're not on. Tell them they are on. Oh, really? Huh. I didn't know you could do that. If y'all didn't see what Stacy wrote, you can drop a stacked order, call Spark, and tell them they are on your personal decline list. Take the other order. And I have heard that if you there's one lady that I watched get loaded over at one of our WalMarts. I got tickled. She was in a car, probably about the size of mine, just a average. Well, actually, it's probably a little bit smaller, but just a 4-door sedan. But this order had six big. I think it was six. Might have been four. Anyway, it was the big outdoor lawn chairs, and they wouldn't fit in their car, and they was trying to work them, and they finally got them in there. But you can tear up your car all over a $10 delivery order. So in that case, I do know if you have a stacked order, you can have one order removed because it won't fit in your vehicle. I do know that one because I haven't done it, but I've been sitting beside somebody and we were talking and they did it. So I do know you can do that. Oh, gig, I've been saying it for a long time. Any retracted tips should go through customers. Exactly. That that's really what I think. Uh, if you have a good enough reason to remove a tip, you should have to go through the trouble to call it in and make a formal complaint. I don't think Spark or DoorDash or Uber Eats or whoever should take that, deactivate that driver. I think they should contact them or email them and explain to them the situation. You know, you don't have to tell them who the customer was, but tell them the situation and let them learn. You don't fire somebody just because they don't get, because they mess up, unless it's a major mess up or they continually do it. And that's the way these apps ought to be. You don't deactivate somebody because of one person like Bud Soda saying he got deactivated because somebody reported the order wasn't delivered. Now, we all know I've been scammed shortly after I started doing this. And I can guarantee you, if you've been doing Spark, I know Stacy, I bet $100 she's been scammed. People just do it. And I don't think these companies ought to be deactivating drivers for that unless it's something that has a pattern and it's kind of obvious. The other day, um, I I have found like a can of pork and beans or whatever in my car that fell out of a sack, and I have no idea where it came from. I'm not going to trip out over that. But uh, one day last week, I went to move. I carry my hot bag. I got too many bags in my car, but I went to move them, and there was one little sack in the floorboard. And I looked in that sack, and there was those what do you call them, the Apple AirPods, and with them being Apple, I don't know how much they cost, but with them being Apple, I figured those was pretty expensive. So I called support on that one, and I would highly suggested. I'm not saying a can of pork and beans call support over this. I had no idea where it came from, but that's a high price item, and they narrowed it down to, well, Stacy on the one I'm talking about. I narrowed it down to 414 according to the customer service. But I talked to Kayla over there. You probably know Kayla. And the next day, and it didn't come from 414. They don't know where it came from. But I did my part. So I suggest if you have something like that, you might want to call customer service and tell them about it. I've been saying it for a long time. It would also show how often a particular customer tip baits you. That's why you use time and date stamps. It helps. Hmm. Well, next time I see you, you'll have to elaborate on that one a little more, Miss Stacy. You need to join the live one night, Stacy. Whenever I'm not putting you on the spot right now, but one day, kind of, because you've been doing this for a long time, and you've got a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge that could be beneficial to people. So anyway, so Mr. Giggity said that he watches people because it's better than watching TV. So why do you why does maybe y'all answered, but why do some of y'all watch who you watch, and why do you watch them? I'm not perfect, and I'll admit that there have been times where an apartment letter or number isn't there, and I put it between the two apartments or whatnot. I always take my pictures and do my do. Yeah. Oh. Do you take? I was reading that on Reddit earlier. There was, because one of the people on there got deactivated, and they were saying that they take the picture, for the app, and then they'll take another picture for their own personal reasons. That ways they've got it. But I don't know. Diligence, but there's times that I agree got the better of me like I hit the hand to me when I was better of me like I hit hand to me when I should have waited for the timer or it was pouring rain and yeah. They, I figured out what the little when the little Walmart logo is spinning. By reading Reddit, I learned they call that the blue circle of death or something like that. My phone does that sometimes at the most inconvenient times, especially when you're sitting in a driveway and you're trying to pull out and you're trying to end that or finalize that delivery and so you can move on and you're just sitting there waiting on it. That I get impatient sometimes. I'm patient with people, but things that should work like clockwork, I get impatient with them occasionally. I know, good old sweet grandpa gets a little anxious sometimes, but time's money. If I sit there a minute at this one, a minute at that one, a minute at that one before long, you got an hour tied up and sitting around waiting on the dang app to start working. Just take a pic, add time, date, and address on it. I just upload it to the apps. It does save a copy to my phone. I I thought it should, but I've never found because it would be like a cache file, and you would think that it would save to your phone, but I don't know where it's at in my phone. And really, in all honesty, Spark, DoorDash, Uber Eats, all of them have a picture, and that's what kind of got me on when I first started doing. Well, I think I've been doing Spark a little bit, but they dropped, they canceled the order right after I had finalized it, so their timing was off just a little bit. Because that's one of the scams that people will do. They'll cancel it. If they'll sit there and watch you, and as soon as you drop it off, they cancel it, and it gets mixed up in the phone, and they cross wires, and they go out there and grab it, and they go in, and what are you going to do? Go beat on their door, say, give me the stuff back? But anyway, when I called in on that, it shows up on the customer service side and all that, so they can see, they know that you did it. But trouble is, I think a lot of these help people don't want to do their job. They want to read what they have to do and pass you on and move on to the next one. I'm sure they have a certain quota they got to meet. So I mean, they're doing their job, but there's only so much they can do, and it's aggravating because they don't put forth the effort, and they don't realize that's our job, that's our livelihood. Without that, we'd have to go back to a W-2 job. It's not as bad as it seems, but I have slowed down on watching videos. Honestly, mainly been watching live streams. I prefer to interaction, I suppose. Yeah, okay. And the other, soda, and the other is a bag of dog food on a giant batch order that someone canceled, and I didn't call support, and they might that night, and I just return it the next day. Something very nitpicky and minor can get you, deactivated. I should have followed my own advice and called support over something very petty. Yeah. CYA all the way. I watch some stuff on YouTube for entertainment, some stuff for advice. This community, obviously, and others for relaxation or to turn off stress, like certain music. I will agree, most content creators are way more entertaining than stuff in Hollywood puts out. That is true. Oh, DoorDash full time. Bite your tongue. Yeah, I haven't done DoorDash in, I don't know, 6 months or so. And like I told you the other day, I tried it, well, on the little Facebook group. I tried it out at our military base. I knew it was a waste of time, but when you commented what you commented back, I knew it was a waste of time. And I went in there and I deleted what schedules I did have. I thought, I ain't fooling with DoorDash. DoorDash would be a last resort in our market. Other markets, St. Louis, man, they're rocking. I know that one. They get, they still get junk orders, but they get a bunch of orders. I mean, constantly. And it was pretty much that way in Springfield, uh, Missouri. Springfield, Missouri. You got on a 3 p.m. schedule. I have tried, you know, I don't know. Different people told me check it at 3 p.m. Some people said midnight. Some people said noon. And I've tried it at 3 a.m., noon, 3 p.m., and midnight. And I never see anything except for the base. Now, it may have changed now because maybe people are getting smarter about it and not fooling with it. But I really haven't had much luck on Uber Eats either. But I do like Uber Eats better than DoorDash. I'm not ignoring y'all, but my phone lit up, so I want to make sure I'm not. We're bumping up the earnings with 20 cents. Hey, if y'all have a 7-Eleven rewards, if you're part of their reward program, they're doing, well, at least here, it looks like they're going to be doing 20 cents off a gallon on 9/29 through 10/1. So if y'all are part of the 7-Eleven rewards, you might check on that. 20 cents off. Heck yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, well, I've heard 3 p.m. there is early access. I've looked at 3 p.m., I've looked at midnight. I don't know. Not in a while, but a while back I did. I don't really. Spark is my my thing right now. I'm hoping that it continues good, and I would think that it would. Best I remember, it did real good last year at Christmas. So, and it kind of makes sense. It should. I know it even during the starting of school, I was getting a lot of school supply orders, and right now I'm getting a lot of candy. People are buying candy. So anyway, I was in the Dallas area the other day, turned DoorDash on, and it was all red. Seemed to be popping. Yeah, yeah. I can move mine down to the Metroplex down there, and it. And I have thought about driving down to not Grapevine, Denton, but I just haven't done it. I kept talking about it because I was going to go camping down that way and just try it. Sparky has its ups and downs. This week was been a tough week. Last week was the best week I'd ever had. I think I mentioned that to you. But I was getting up earlier. I'm not a morning time person. Emily can attest to that. I just don't do early mornings. But I got up and I was doing them, and it's beneficial. But one thing I have noticed, and it may just be coincidence, but every day that I've paid attention, there are no 11:15 orders. I don't know if it's at the particular store that I'm at, and usually it's 4:20. Um, but 11:15 orders, and a lot of times no 12:15 orders. But anything before that and anything after that, it goes good. Next week will be awesome. You think it'll be awesome everywhere, or do you think it'll just be awesome in our area? this might be something that people can. How you doing, T. Ron? I didn't see you come in the back door there. We just chit chatting about different stuff and why people watch what they watch and talking about sport. And also, you think it'd be awesome everywhere? Well, that'll be good. I guess I'm between getting and tomorrow I'm getting my windows tinted, so I'm going to be down for a couple hours. So every day I've been down for an hour to 3 hours. Yesterday I was down all morning because I was getting the front bearing replaced in the car. But that's one thing I like about these kind of jobs, and it's a job to me. Anything that pays you money is a job. If you're doing garage sales for a living, that's a job. So anybody that says this is not a job, I disagree with them. Anything that pays money is a job. Period. Anyway, but the one thing about it is when you have to stop and do stuff like get car maintenance or go by and get the tires rotated, which is what I did today, and the tires balanced, and it rides a lot better. Anyway, you have the ability to do that. You don't have to check in with your boss to say, "Hey, I need to take off a couple hours. Can this be all right?" Because you are your boss. You don't work, you don't get paid. That's the drawback to it. But the freedom of it and the flexibility of it, you can't beat it. I've worked for, let's see, I'm for 40, probably about 40, I don't know without doing math, but about 42, 43 years. And this is the best work I've ever done in my life. And I, quite honestly, overall, it pays the best. Wichita Falls pay jobs just don't pay that great, unless you're way up into a company. And we don't have that many big companies here that I know of. But apparently somebody makes a lot of money here because we got some really high dollar neighborhoods nowadays. Oh, Bud Soda says I had one the other night and delivered very early on when it was started in my area, but I called support and they said, don't worry about it. The customer found the items and support looked up and takes the picture. Yep. Oh, first weekend of the month. Yeah. Okay. Running a good garage shop is a profession here in Texas. Yeah. My mom has a neighbor, and I know the city of Wichita Falls has an ordinance, and I'm sure all other cities do, on how often you can have a garage sale without it actually being considered being commercial. But she's got a neighbor that pushes it. She has a garage sale, but I don't know. My mom's probably on here watching, but I would say probably at least every 2 months. Let's see. Oh, that was from 7-Eleven. But anyway, yeah, garage sales are. I like garage sales. I haven't done them much, you know, but I used to go, not a lot, but quite a bit. Yep, make what you want, when you want, and how you want. Exactly. And when I first started this channel, that was one of the things that I said. This is one of those jobs where it truly is. You get what you get out of it, what you put into it. If you want to work 3 or 4 hours a day, then you're gonna make okay money. You're not gonna buy a new car. But if you want to work 8 to 12 hours a day, it's there. People are going to spend money. You may not get paid exactly what you want, but the money is there. You have to work harder for it sometimes, but it's there. If you want to put in the work, you'll reap the rewards, as they say. I mean, you're not going to become a millionaire, but and really, it's kind of like what Pedro says on his channel. It's a stepping stone, and really it should be, um, because you're not going to want to do this forever. Yeah, I'm just wanting to do it about 10 or 12 more years and then do it because I want to, not because I have to pay the bills. But, I'll be able to collect Social Security in a few more years. And as long as it'll hold out, I'll be happy with that. But it should be used as stepping stones. I've got this YouTube channel. I've got Amazon stuff going. I just signed a contract with a company today to do. I mean, it's not going to be paid nothing. I know that, but it makes me feel good. It makes me feel important. I'll be having a video on that, but I'm not going to blow it out on my YouTube channel because they're not paying that good, and I don't know. Anyway, but you should be working on other things too. And when you're not taking an order, you can be researching on something and learning how to do something else, or Mushy Moo. A lot of y'all might watch him. I don't know if he's still doing it or not, but he would go to like the Goodwill stores and find certain items and then sell them on eBay and Craigslist and all that. And it's not going to be big money, but little streams of revenue. Little streams fill up a lake. That's the way I look at it. Anyway, just my opinion. 1,000 a week is 142 a day. I almost hit that. You got to put in the time though. Am I freezing up, y'all? Because this just popped. I don't know. I hope I'm not freezing them. All these apps have the ability to look at in-app messaging and spoof text messages, and they see the logs of when you called customers and customers called you. I had I normally don't do batch orders. If you really pay attention to them and know the area, you can make money at it. But the majority of the time, you get no freezing up. You're good. Thank you. Last Wednesday, it was horrible. I didn't know it, but anyway. But yeah, batch orders. I don't know. It depends on how many there are. Anyway, what I'm getting at is I had a drop in some apartments, and the apartment didn't exist. It went to apartment 89, and it was apartment 90. And I got a hold of Emily, and she's got that Beans app. I don't know if y'all know about that, but it's a app that has the apartment complexes in each apartment, like a little map within an apartment complex. And she looked that up for me, and it didn't show an apartment 90. About 20 minutes later, the lady finally called me back because I texted her twice and called her 3 times, left a voicemail once. And because I hate not giving somebody their order. But anyway, she called me about 20, 25 minutes later and told me where the apartment is. So now I know if I ever get that order again. But I don't know where I was going with this. So I was talking about batch orders, but I don't know. Anyway, as far as talking, it was talking to the customers and stuff, and then the gig companies knowing that you're communicating with them. So apparently, Walmart does not have a good communication between what they get told at Walmart and what they submit to the app. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't used the Spark app. I've only done one kind of an order just to see how the tips work. I had to use my mom's address because we can't get delivered out here. But it seems like you ought to, because I know a lot of people put patient notes. They put customer notes, and that's what I told that lady. If there was a way she can put a customer note in there. But anyway, that's a whole different. Don't do that. Oh, I know. But in my defense, there was nothing coming in. And really, by the time I took it, I could have sat and took a nap under a tree and made more money because I'd have probably got almost a good order, almost as good of an order 45 minutes later, and probably got another order. And between the two, they would have paid more than .com, and it would have been less stress and less miles. But generally, the only time I'll take a .com is if I'm at like $110 and I'm wanting 150 for the day, and I get a $40 .com, I'll, and that's going to be the end of it for the day. I'll go ahead and take it because that's the end of my day. But really, that's about the only time I'll take one. Generally, the other day I took that one just because I wasn't getting anything, and I've been noticing it. Like I said, well ago, at the 11:15 or 12:15 hours, I'm not seeing anything. I may be at the wrong store or not holding my mouth right. Might be like fishing. You got to hold your mouth just right to get the fish. But that's why I took that .com. But normally I don't suggest .coms. What was the name of that apartment number app? Beans. Beans. It should be on Play Store, or what's the one for iPhone? What it should be out there, but it's called Beans. It maps out the apartment within the apartment complex. Even the little apartment complex that this was at is on there now, and it's not a not a very fancy place off Iowa Park Road. You can do 4 part-time AM hours while you spend 1 to 2 hours running all over town. Yeah. So, Stacy, since you're here, um, oh, you made it home. Well, I'm glad you made it home. Hope you made some money. Uh, you like the .com orders, especially if it's raining because they come in their own plastic bags. Well, that's true. That's true. Um, but Stacy, is it just me, or is it really not any orders generally? I've seen orders that come out, but generally on 11:15 or 12:15, does they just not have any? Or I don't, maybe they shut down for lunches and get everything gathered up and ready for the afternoon, like a shift change. I don't know, but it just seems like I don't see them. But I couldn't say one way or the other. Uh, the one thing I do like about the .com orders is you don't have to keep going back to the store. You get loaded up and you're gone, which can be good, and then sometimes it may not be so good. I don't know um, if just making sure it wasn't a text of importance. I don't know if any of y'all. I think I mentioned it last Wednesday or something. But talking about picking up a bunch of orders, the FedEx, there is a truck up here in Wichita Falls anyway, and it says non-CDL drivers that they're hiring them. And I talked to a FedEx driver out here, and he said that was not technically. I mean, it's FedEx, but it was like a little sister company that he said they kind of pay. Basically, the way I understand it, it's a lot like Amazon Flex. You go pick up enough orders for 8 to 10 hours, and they give you $150, and that's it. And he said you're going to work your butt off. He said he does not recommend it, but that's what that one was. Just jump to another. I know. Yeah, Not between 11:15 and 12. No order. Okay. And so my thoughts, I have seen like an ASAP order come out between there, but overall, I don't see any orders. So okay, and then that really that's good because I can jump over to Uber Eats and I'll try Grubhub. I forgot about a Grubhub order the other night. I don't know if I mentioned that on here or not. It was a good one too. That's the best Grubhub order I've seen in a year. It's like 15, $16 or something. It was only going like 3 miles. But I forgot about it. I literally, see, we're all human. I got a good Spark order and boom, I was heading to Walmart. And then that popped up. That Grubhub will send you a message that says, you're almost there. And I'm like, almost, oh crap. And I couldn't get it to where I could drop the order, so I wound up having to call support to get them to drop the order for me. So yeah, well, Grubhub used to be really good when I first started doing it. What, 2.5 years ago? Grubhub and Uber Eats was rocking. I mean, I every order I got was 12 to 20 bucks, every one of them, and then they just took a dive. So, if you schedule a block, I really hate scheduling blocks because I feel committed then, and I don't want to be committed to a schedule. That's the whole purpose of doing this kind of work, and and I've been told if you schedule yourself for a block on Grubhub and you continually do that and you continually drop them, then they penalize you and fix it to where you can't take blocks for a while. So I don't know. But anyway, I've got uh, an app. Uh, Gary's going to get me for this one. Gary Middleton. He has apps called Maximo. And it doesn't like go into their servers or anything. You just set some parameters that it just does exactly what it is for you. But I've got them set now for pretty good orders from Uber Eats and Grubhub, and then I'll have to mess with hitting decline. But anyway, that's another story. If you can figure out how to work the military base, there's lots of money there, man. Especially on military payday. Well, there used to be for Bite Squad, which is now called ASAP. Which apparently they was having big issues today. I kept getting messages from them that their system was down or something. Anyway, yeah, with Bite Squad, I used to get some good orders, but I really don't do them much more anymore. But they was the only ones that could go on base. But I went on base anyway because I had my ID through Bite Squad, so I had to take the Uber Eats orders and stuff. But I sit out there at DoorDash on DoorDash and absolutely nothing. And Stacy, she has told me she's tried it, and she's got a Facebook group, a local Facebook group here, and a lot of those folks kind of all agree. The military base here, everybody, it's going to be just like different markets. Everything's going to be different, but I don't know. Maybe what? But if you can schedule, you can make $13 an hour just to be on. Yeah, but yes, you do have to. I think they have a. I don't know. And I think they have like a free version, but it doesn't show as much or something. I don't know. I had it at one time, but I quit using it. But Emily, I think she pays. Well, she pays for it anyway, whatever it costs. It's not much, and it can be a big headache. What are you talking about? You can make 13 an hour. Oh, you're talking about the base being good 5 to 6 days a month. Okay, you get paid 13 an hour is not worth my time. Well, I mean, I say that 13 an hour is good if you're just having to sit and you're not burning no gas. I'd take it. It's more. That's more than I made out at the state hospital. I hate to say that, but the state of Texas don't pay crap. Not in the mental institution field. Now, if you're a equipment operator or something with the state of Texas, maybe that pays good. But oh, Grubhub, you get 13, and oh, if you're on the block, oh really? Huh. But you have to accept X amount of orders per hour, don't you? Because if you declined every one of them, I don't think they would pay you, would they? It is when I am sitting at home. Donating to the gossip of entertainment for me, we hear. Well, that wouldn't be bad, 13 an hour. But the majority of the Grubhub orders I see, I'm going to decline them. You know. Anyway, I am so glad people are enjoying this. And this was kind of a random topic. I was like, you run out of things to talk about, but you want to talk and you want to visit with people, and it's hard to put a topic on a live stream when 90% of the time you're on that topic for 5 minutes and the other 55 minutes you're talking about the man on the moon or something. I gotta get a drink of water. I'm trying to switch my drinking habits from Dr. Pepper to Ozarka. I did a delivery earlier and 3 flights of stairs at some apartments over by the Walmart, and I have got to get in shape. That would wore me out. I was looking at that next set of stairs going up, and I was like, man, I took my time. Going down wasn't so bad, but I got to get in shape. And Ozarka is going to get me there. I think just getting off the Dr. Peppers would probably help because I was drinking them a lot. No dating. DoorDash said $10 on every trip made me drive for a $3 boondoggle. Man. Uh, Bot Squad here. There you go. I believe they are $8. Every order that goes to the base is $8, no matter what, $8 or more. But one thing I noticed about the base, I would have rejected the apartment, but I looked through it and see if there's any water, and they had a lot of items, but they were small items, so it was one trip. But yes, if it's an apartment and they got cases of water, automatic. Unless I know the apartments and I know it's downstairs. Like where I used to live, I know those apartments and how they're numbered. So I will take them if they got water on them if they're downstairs. But I'm not carrying water upstairs no more. Just not going to do it. There's too many other orders that I can be on. And like I said, yeah, you can turn on your other apps. And that's what I said. I've said that really I can make as much money running one app than I can running 4 apps. But if my one app ain't doing any good, you have to run them other apps. So I keep them in the back pocket. Quitting Dr. Pepper cold turkey will give you a caffeine headache. Yes, ma'am, it will, but I didn't say I was quitting caffeine. I go to my taco casa and I get my sweet tea. Down in the south. Well, you sweet tea. It's got the caffeine in it. Make more not doing apartments. I don't know. if it's a $20 order or $20+ order and it don't have a whole lot going, I don't mind doing the apartments. There's one place here in Wichita Falls I will decline it. I don't care if it's a $50 order. I'm not going back in that building. It just makes me feel nasty. And I bet you $1 you can figure out which one I'm talking about in the downtown, close to downtown area. I just feel nasty when I go there, and you have to carry everything upstairs, and I don't know. I've got that address in my head now, and I just will not take them. I hate to be that way to the customers. It's not their fault, but it is what it is. Yeah, I drink the tea to help with the headaches, and I carry a bottle of aspirins with me because you're absolutely right. Just quitting will give you a headache. There's one apartment complex around here that's very notorious. It's not laid out in the rhyme order. We've got one just like that. We're on Taft Street here, and I used to live there. And you would think that I would have some idea, but the numbering on them apartments is crazy. Decline most orders from a called Starbucks Avenue apartment. Beware if you're in Watertown, New York area. I doubt I'm up that way, but you never know. You know, my dad used to never say never," and he's right. Never say never. Yes, houses quick drop off, then you will get enough. There's that hour. Yes, ma'am. That's it. Uh, I never, unless it's a ASAP order, I never get, and you know, get, a lot of times, well, I mean, sometimes you're out by 45 after, but a lot of times it's 10 till, and it usually takes me about 15, 20 minutes because I'm going over to, I know most of y'all aren't going to know what I'm talking about, but go over to like Tanglewood and then maybe over on off Seymour Road, Santa Fe or something. And that takes me 20 minutes, and I'm not going to get another order. So I don't know. You must be doing something different than I am because I can't get 2 orders in an hour unless it's an ASAP order or I decline. I have declined a bunch of orders. I declined like 5 or 6 today, and if you work today, you probably saw them too. I'm just not going to do the $7 orders no more because if you do a $7 order, that could possibly make you making $7 an hour, and it's just not worth it. Absolutely not worth it. What? Hey, that's a good username. Excedrin. Take 2 and call me in the morning. Yeah, exactly. Goish in a hat. Uber knows when you're running DoorDash. They may know, but they can't do anything. The only time they can say anything to you is if you have a active order going. Then they can get you, but they can't stop you from completing a DoorDash order and then taking an Uber order and vice versa. And they're probably not going to say anything about picking up if you're dirty apping unless you don't do it right. If you do it right, it's fine. You know, I used to do it all the time. I'd pick up a DoorDash order, a Grubhub order, and an Uber Eats order of all 3 of them. But they're all 3 of them going the same direction because we have a little complex, or I guess you call it a complex. Um, but there's like Cookie Crumble, uh, uh, there's like 3 restaurants in Cookie Crumble all right there together, and you can pick up all those. And as long as you're all going the same direction, that's fine. But technically, I think if something happened, they could probably say something. I don't know that they would or not, but it's been a horrible lately. Bad orders, back to back on DoorDash. Oh, don't go so far out. Yeah. Stacy's throwing out some uh, good practices there. If anybody's watching, set your mileage limit and run with it all day. Which, yeah, I can see that. The brainy one, I started to cut my days in half instead of riding around, sending us dummy missions. Yes, less miles, more earnings. I used to, you know, a lot of times here, you would go sit at the mall and waiting on an order. And in all honesty, the only time that I'm sitting is by my choice. It's not because I'm having to wait on orders, it's because I've got something to look up, something to research, need to run into Walmart or I need to run to AutoZone or do something. But 90% of the time, I'm on an order, on a delivery, whether it's the Spark or occasionally Uber Eats, because I will turn Uber Eats on between the time I accept the Spark order and the time I have to pick it up. I might do an Uber Eats order. I need to start doing that more often, though. Also mentioned return started today. I know I got a email on that a while back. Um, have you gotten one yet? Because from my understanding of it, if the customer has a return, we're supposed to go to their house, pick that item up, and take it back to Walmart. Now, I haven't gotten one yet. That's why I haven't even made a video on it because I don't know how it's going to work. I know how they said it's going to work, but what they say and how it does is two different things sometimes. So, Candace Cameron, you're versus AC taking all of the gas too. Oh yeah, when you're sitting around, absolutely. Yeah, it can drop you. It uses it, technically it uses less gas to just sit idle than what it does driving. But when you look at your average miles per gallon on your, if it shows it in your car, your average miles per gallon will drop. But that's because you're burning gas and you're not getting any miles. So you have to, I mean, technically it uses less gas, but it's still burning gas. Luckily, we're getting into the time of year where you're not going to have to sit idle. You can turn the car off. Early in the mornings, here right now, between about 8 and about 11 o'clock, you don't really technically have to have the air conditioner. About 11 o'clock and on, you still need it right now, but it's getting better. Oh, doing airport rides lately? I have never got I only did Uber rideshare a few times, and most of the time I was just doing it on the weekends at the military base, hauling the military back and forth. And I've never done like a long ride. I don't know if y'all watch. I'm sure everybody has heard him, but they have the Driven Dad. He just did one. And I don't know how many miles he went. I'm sure he watched or said it, but I know it was like a 4 or 5 day trip. It's well worth the money. He made good money on that one. But I've never gotten a big long trip like that. I don't know if the airport that we would be hauling to. I don't know if I want to deal with it. And it would be the DF Dallas Fort Worth Airport. So I don't know. If the pay was right, I would try it though. But I quit doing the ride share because my air conditioner was acting up, and I don't want to put somebody in the back seat. And when you're going down the highway, the air conditioner worked great, but when you're having to stop at red lights or whatever, it started blowing hotter air, and that wouldn't be comfortable for a passenger, and I wouldn't want to charge somebody for that. That I don't know, just me. self-driving cars soon. I don't know. I think we're still a long way from that, and that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I know they already, like Emily's car, has got that driving assist, and as long as you touching it, you don't really have to hold the steering wheel, but as long as you're touching it, it'll drive itself. And I know that some of the Tesla models drive themselves, but on a where everybody has the opportunity to have a self-driving car, I don't look for that to happen for another 20, 25 years. Although I did read or saw in the news that they're passed the law or whatever, or made it where all these states can put in charging stations. They're going to start putting them in along the highways, like every 50 miles throughout the whole network of highways, like I-35, I-10, all of the major highways. So that'll be good for those people that's got the electric cars, you know. That, but as far as completely self-driving, I don't know. I mean, I may be wrong. Anyway, pay us $7. Awesome. Oh, you get paid. You only get paid $7 to return. That's lousy. Uh, New sub. Oh, I appreciate it. I'm glad you felt so inclined to hit the subscribe button. And if y'all can, hit the thumbs up button on this one. You know, there's only, this says 10 people watching. I don't know. 8 thumbs up. I don't know if there's 8 people watching or 20 people watching. Somebody told me don't pay no attention to that number because it's not right. I don't know. Anyway, if you feel so inclined, you could hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Have to go to work call. Have to go to work call. All right. Well, I appreciate you dropping by, Stacy, and dropping a little education on us. Oh, ain't nothing up but the rent. Just in Sarah Silverman is delivery is easier to deal with. Yeah, I agree. But I only had 2 times that the one time, I mean, they wasn't bad people. The one time, I thought the one time the guy was probably my age too, but at least he had sense enough to call an Uber instead of driving. He couldn't even walk, but I thought he was going to show mess up my back seat. And he didn't. And about the time we was getting closer to the house, he was like, "You smoke weed?" And I'm like, "No, sir." Oh, okay. I don't know if he was wanting to hang out or wanting some, or I don't know. But I had that situation. I wouldn't. I could care less about the weed. I was worried about him throwing up in my car. And the other time, I gave a girl a ride, and I had to Febreze my car quite a bit, and I wiped it all out. But the rest of the clientele has been fine. I mean, some of them's been drinking and enjoying it, but they're not belligerent and not like jerks or anything. But if you're hauling military, they have to be careful because they'll get in a lot of trouble if you report them. So they kind of try to watch, their mannerism, and the majority of them very well mannered. Um, so that's why I was mainly doing it on the weekends because that's when they come into town. They go to our mall, which is crap for a mall, but it's better than being stuck out on base all. You're out there 5 days a week. You want to get off base, even if it's to go to a movie or something. I would get tired of being out there, and I enjoyed talking to them. There's a lot of them that's from down south, and from all over. and you just hear it, have a conversation about what area they're from, and it's kind of cool because they're with you 15, 20 minutes. That's about it. Anyway, I just finished. What a bad day. Well, for me, I had to get my tires rotated and balanced, so that took a while, and I got a late start. But all in all, I think I was $113, which, in all reality, in my area, is not bad. If you can make $100 a day here, um, that's probably more than you're going to make at the average job here. The average W-2 job. But I had, like I said, I had a lot of different things going, but it wasn't like busy yesterday. But yesterday and the day before that was really lousy. But I still wouldn't trade it for a W-2 job, and I'll never say that I'll never go back to a W-2 job, but I have no intention of it. You never know what can happen. You may have to. Sometimes I'll pick up 2 rides to cover my $70 day goal. Um, $100 can be done, but you got to work. Yeah, sounds like y'all are kind of like the way it is. I don't know where you're at, but you know, 75 to $100, and if you make more, that's great. I used to, when I first started doing this, I had a $175 goal a day, and I was meeting it. And then it kind of DoorDash and Uber Eats and all of them started kind of going down, and I quit. I'm not going to get into the whole political thing with DoorDash on Top Dasher and all that. I don't play that game. I don't care. But the amount of orders I got and the quality of the orders I got diminished because I started declining a lot. And I kind of slacked off a little bit. But, you know, if you're able to work 8 hours to 10 hours a day, in most markets, the money's there, whether it's DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, Spark, if you have Shipped, which I don't know. I've seen a couple advertisements for Shipped here, and we don't have Shipped. But I've seen a couple advertisements, so maybe it's moving into this area before long. Miss Reba's down here just whining. She's saying it's time to get off of that. Can you talk to us? She's talking to us. Oh, no. Done with the man too. Yeah. Just get the money. I don't know about Top Dash. Yeah. Seems nobody likes Grubhub. Grubhub used to be good. I mean, I don't know if y'all watch Paid to Drive, but that was his thing a few years ago. I guess it was been a few years now. All he does is pretty much read emails. I mean, he may still do orders, but he don't do them on his videos. But he, up where he lived, it was good, and even here in Wichita Falls, Grubhub was good 2 years ago, but it was during the pandemic. But if you find an app and it's working for you, get it while you can because it can taper off. And I personally work one app, occasionally two, and you'll hear everybody saying multi-app, multi-app, multi-app. And in some markets, I agree. But if you can work one app and make the same amount of money, why stress yourself out trying to do all the other ones? But I do recommend keeping those other ones because you don't know what Spark. could switch things up and do start in-house delivery, like the at-home delivery however, I think it's at home or something. They got a new program going to be coming out, but you never know what's going to be happening. So if you're not on these other apps, I would really kind of suggest getting on them and doing an order here and there just to maintain a activity or active, remain active within that program. But I say if you can make the same money doing one app, do one app. But that's all market dependent. I know that's a repetitious thing that everybody says, but it's a very true statement. Anyway, folks, I am going to. Who is the guy that interview the CEOs? Who is the guy that interviews the CEOs? Are you? I don't know. I forget the name of that channel. There's one guy, Rideshare. Let me look right here. Hang on, because I've got that guy. Megan Reisman's somebody good to watch too. If y'all don't watch her, she's very funny, entertaining. And Dash with Ash. There's a bunch of good people. The rideshare guy, he interviews a lot of the CEOs and whatnot. So I don't know if that's who you're talking about, but if you want to learn some of the more rules and things such as that, he's a good one to watch. And there's a lot of people that put a lot of thought into this stuff and analyze it and study the analytics and all this and that. I'm a simple man. I turn my app on. I go out there and make my money. I don't care if I take this amount of orders. It will make me make this much amount of money. As long as I'm making money and paying my bills and able to eat, I'm happy. I don't care about the analytics. And I mean, you can beat a dead horse, but it ain't going to get up. It's it is what it is. No matter what kind of studies you do and all this. I mean, you might want to know a little bit of stuff, and it doesn't hurt to know some stuff. But I think too many people put too much thinking into this. It's not rocket science. You don't need to know how the algorithm and all that works. I said analytics, and algorithm is what I meant. But anyway, that's just my thinking. Just go out there and make your money. Let them people do what they want to do, and listen to them. I mean, give them credit for doing the studies they're going to do, but it ain't going to make one bit of difference. The sun's still going to come up tomorrow. The sun's still going to set, and you're still going to go out there and make your $50 to $100 a day, whatever, maybe $200 a day. I don't know. I've got a video idea that I'm going to try to do. I'm going to go ahead and mention it now, but it's just going to be basically my thoughts on and my opinions on things, and that's one of them. So there's a little teaser of an upcoming video. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it. It may just be driving down the road and talking, because obviously people are not concerned about watching videos on GoPros. So that was a flop. But that's the thing about these videos. If y'all do videos and it's a flop, remember, this is on the internet. What people are not interested in today, 6 months from now, it may take off like a rocket ship. So do what you want to do. It's your channel. and do what you want. Do your work the way you want to do. Don't let anybody tell you how to do your work. Listen to them and get some little hints there, here and there, and form your own thoughts on it. But do you. Don't worry about what everybody else is saying. Do you. And with that in mind, we're 25 minutes over. Yeah, I know. I'm just rattling, aren't I? Get some rest, Brandon. I have 4.5 hours. The daily goal is 400, 500. 400. If he doesn't pay my bills, especially when you've earned 6,000 in 2 weeks. Oh, Lord. Bud soda, you got it, man. You got to get it under control. Are you not going? You're going to be in a hospital bed and not going to be able to get out there and hustle. Take care of business and take care of yourself. Remember, ain't nobody going to take care of you but yourself. Do what you got to do. Get in a position where you can kind of keep working, but kind of take it easy. You're going to grow old quickly. Anyway, car loans, insurance, all my other bills. That's I don't make much on YouTube, but YouTube almost it usually pays my car insurance. I just have one car though, so and it's not extremely high. That's about all YouTube pays for me anyway. Those bigger people make bigger money. Anyway, y'all, I gotta get out of here. Like Bud Soda, I said I need to get some rest. And actually, I got a couple more things I got to take care of before I can get some rest. But one thing, like I said, y'all do you. Take everybody's words and put them in a hat and listen to them. Form your own thoughts. But bottom line is, do what works for you. Plain and simple. Y'all keep smiling, keep dashing, dancing, prancing, doing whatever it is you want to do. Just keep doing something, because see that gray? That's what you're gonna get, Bud Soda. But Bud Soda ain't gonna sit around and not do anything. Bud Soda's gonna keep going and keep going. But anyway, y'all just keep going and keep doing something, and do something you enjoy. Have some enjoyment in your life. Be nice to one another, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching, and ciao, or bye, or toodaloo, adios. See you later, alligator, whatever. I'm out. Bye, y'all. As soon as I hit end broadcast. Okay, bye.